Hey, thanks a lot, Mike. I just landed from Foxborough. I was in Foxborough last night for the Steelers and the Patriots.
What'd you think of the setting there last night because of the way the Patriots were so involved with everything up to last week? Was it I don't want to say hostile environment, but was there more energy in that joint than a normal? Did it have a different feel?
It did. It had an unapologetic, sort of unrepentant feel of total denial. The Patriots and their fans, they're at war with the rest of the NFL, and they're at war with the National Football League. It's pretty clear. I mean, it was a very hostile environment, and they're feeling like it's us against the world. And last night you had the incidents with interference in the Steelers headsets, the coach-to-coach headsets. Another situation with that has cropped up before there, so those suspicions are being raised again. The Steelers just announced, however, that they are not going to file any kind of formal complaint with the league about it. So, I'm not sure exactly what went on. I don't think anybody does, but both sides experienced interference in the headsets, and maybe the Patriots are doing it deliberately, but it's going to be nearly impossible to prove. But the bottom line is this, they didn't need the headsets for Josh Scobie to miss 2 field goals, and they certainly didn't need the headsets to figure out that they needed to cover Rob Gronkowski. I mean, when did the schedule come out, Mike? The schedule came out in April. So Keith Butler, the new defensive coordinator for the Steelers, had 5 months to draw up a plan to cover Rob Gronkowski. Do they need 6 months? Do they need 7 months to figure out you got to cover this guy?
Great point. I was thinking the same thing last night. Where's the game plan on the biggest weapon they have? And I think, Sal, if you were there last night, you get a good indication of the Patriots are a team that plays to their strengths. Gronkowski's their strength, and they went right to him. It's not like they shied away from it. They featured him last night, and you can anticipate a lot of that this year, I would assume, right?
Yeah, they didn't have him covered on the first touchdown pass. He was uncovered down the right sideline, right in front of the Patriots bench on the 16-yard line in the red zone. Hello. Then they had 2 defensive backs who were not in communication, and the Gronk slips through the end zone, another touchdown pass. And then they had a third-string outside linebacker one-on-one with Gronkowski in the fourth quarter, which is unpardonable. There's an old saying in the military, to lose is pardonable, to be surprised is not.
Well put. Sal Pal is with us here at Sal Pal Friday. Sal, I know the book is out in paperback form. The best-selling book is finally available for people, How Football Explains America. And as we kick off the football season, I want to give the fans a little better indication on the book, and obviously being in paper book form now to get it for this fall season.
Yeah, the book is out in paperback. Dated it. It's sold out in hardcover. It's not bookstores and Amazon.com. In fact, I'm going to be at Cherry Hill, Barnes & Noble tonight at 6 p.m. signing books. But I think it's much more important that we talk to your great listening audience about what is happening on Monday night with the Birds against the Dirty Birds down there in Atlanta.
Yeah, let's dive into Philadelphia and Atlanta. A lot of people out of nowhere, the Vegas odds are up there. The national guys are starting to put the Philadelphia and that Super Bowl word together. Is it warranted? Is this a team that the ceiling is the Super Bowl? Is it a Super Bowl or bust type of feel around this team?
Well, I think Chip Kelly has created that expectation, Mike. Reshuffling the deck like he did, I think he has put everybody on notice that he's all in, and he wants everybody around the team to believe that the Super Bowl is the ceiling for this team. So when you do that, one, and then you compare what's happening in the rest of the NFL, and specifically the NFC and the NFC East, I think the Eagles are in a great position to compete in the division for the division title and compete in the conference for the conference title. Let's look at where they are in the division. I think it's pretty clear that they're the best team in the division. I think the Cowboys are there. I think the Giants and the Redskins are not. I think this will come down to the Cowboys and the Eagles. I think within the NFC, the Saints weakened themselves. The Seattle Seahawks have so many problems in the secondary. Thomas is coming off a shoulder surgery. Cam Chancellor's not playing because he's in a contract dispute. They lost Byron Maxwell. So their defense has been significantly weakened. There's only so much wear and tear you can get out of Marshawn Lynch. You don't know what kind of hangover they have from that Super Bowl loss in the fourth quarter to the Pats last year. Packers losing Jordy Nelson's huge. We don't know what we can expect out of Adrian Peterson, although I think the Vikings are one of those teams that have quietly improved. The NFC South is a fire sale. I don't know what's going on down there. So I think the Eagles, they've had a pretty good preseason. They've been focused on two things. One is making sure that Bradford is on the field and healthy, and two, that their secondary is fixed. Now, the second part of that, I think, is really important for Monday night. I have 3 keys that I prepared. I think each week I should prepare 3 keys for the Eagles game coming up, and either Sunday or Monday. My 3 keys for the game are, if you will, I think the Eagles, number one, have got to start fast in this game. Remember, last year they got an offensive playoff every 23 seconds. And Atlanta is the only NFC team that the Eagles have yet to face in the regular season or the playoffs under Chip Kelly. So it's very difficult to duplicate the pace of the Eagles' offense in practice. The Falcons simply have not seen this kind of pace, and I think the Eagles can pound them pretty good with that early, fast pace. Secondly, the interior of the offensive line that's been remade has got to hold up. In 2013, when they went to the playoffs, the Eagles under Chip Kelly averaged 5.9 yards a carry between the tackles. That was tops in the NFL. Last year, that dropped to 20 NFL, 4 yards a carry. That's why LaShawn McCoy is running the football for Rex Ryan in Buffalo. So I think DeMarco Murray, Darren Sproles, Ryan Matthews up the gut all night long against very weak Atlanta is a recipe for the Eagles to win the game. And 3, real quickly, the remade secondary must not give up the big play. And, Kyle Shanahan, the new offensive coordinator in Atlanta, is now going to have Matt Ryan moving out of the pocket. And he's going to have him on the run a little bit more. That's the calling card of what he does with his quarterbacks. He doesn't want them stationary and static in the pocket. He wants them a moving target, not a stationary target. And that, I think, is really going to, help open things up for Julio Jones and Roddy White. So I'm interested to see what kind of discipline they play with in the Eagles' new look secondary.
Good points there. I'm really interested to see Maxwell in action, especially right into the fire against a guy like Julio Jones. Sal Pal is with us. Of course, you saw him last night with the coverage of Thursday Night Football for ESPN. The Eagles play Monday night against the Falcons. Where are things with Sam Bradford? Was this a wait-and-see thing? Had Sam said, look, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on myself here? How do you read into all the stuff where Sam is? Because, obviously it sounds like he's not going to pursue a contract.
Well, come on, Mike. Let's get real. We can figure this out in 2 seconds. The Eagles have not made a big enough offer.
That's the right way, right?
Mike, come on. If you think you're getting paid what you're worth, what do? You sign on the dotted line, right? If you think you're getting paid what you think you're going to be worth, you sign on the dotted line. If the Eagles had made an offer that Sam Bradford was satisfied with, do you think Sam Bradford would sign the offer?
I absolutely, because he has said, this is a good spot for him. And I said this the other day, Sal, I agree with you, that they obviously are trying to get him at a discounted value because of his lack of playing time over the last couple of years.
Absolutely, and that's why Bradford has balked. That was a huge roll of the dice, without a doubt. I don't like it. I'll tell you why I don't like it. I don't like it because I worry that he'll play a little scared, that he'll worry about being hurt. And why wouldn't he worry about being hurt if he doesn't have that long-term financial security? I don't like it. When you look at where the salary cap is headed in the NFL, the Eagles should make a competitive offer to keep Sam Bradford healthy and whole. They already lost so much money on Michael Vick and Kevin Cobb and Nick Foles and all the other experiments at quarterback since losing Donovan McNabb. They have invested $96 million in quarterbacks.
Wow.
Since McNabb has left, was traded to Washington. So what's another $20 million?
Good point. Sal Pal's with us. Now, I was going to interject there. You don't think there's a contention, though, between the two sides, just a difference of opinions? Hey, you know what? I understand. I haven't played. I get it. Or do you think there is a little bit of contention between the Bradford and the Eagles?
I think there's potential for contentiousness when you can't sign your starting quarterback to a long-term deal. Obviously, he thinks he's worth more than the Eagles do at this point. If they had a meeting of the minds on the value of Sam Bradford, Bradford would sign the deal. Mm-hmm. We know they've been talking, and the bottom line is now Sam Bradford goes into the season as a guy who's got 1 year. He's a lame duck.
Yep.
And whenever you're a lame duck, you do everything possible to make sure that you survive and advance.
This season, you mentioned, Chip Kelly has created this environment. Is Sam Bradford the key to creating that environment? In other words, if he's not healthy, is the environment the same?
Good question. We'll have to find out. That's the great unknown, Mike. That's the great unknown. There are so many things that can go wrong with this team and so many things that could go right. You look at this team, and they could realistically be 7-9. They realistically could be 12-4. If Kiko Alonso is not available to this team, either due to recurring concussion problems or another knee injury or whatever, they got a big problem at inside linebacker. And they're thin at the pass rush position as well.
Yes, they are. Yep.
It could go either way. There are a lot of things here where he rolled the dice.
No doubt. And I know Bradford's probably at the top of that list, but other than Bradford, did they roll the dice at wideout? Should they have done something more there?
I don't know. I kind of like their position at wideout. I kind of like where they are at tight end. Obviously, I like where they are at running back. I think the three major question marks are quarterback, inside linebacker, and secondary, with offensive line in fourth spot.
Well, maybe the most highly anticipated season since his first one here in a long time for Eagles fans. A new look.
The most anticipated Eagles season in a generation, without a doubt.
I agree, and we saw that opening night, Monday night against the Redskins a couple of years ago. This has a different feel around it. This is as you mentioned, Chip has created this atmosphere. We'll see it go down. He's Sal Pal Fridays here. Don't forget the book, How Football Explains America. He'll be in the Cherry Hill Barnes & Noble tonight. What was that, 6 or 6:30, Sal?
6. I'll be there at 6 o'clock, 6 to 7. And I appreciate you promoting the book, and I will talk to you next Friday, my brother.
All right, my friend. Take care.